purpose use, physical education facility, 3 classrooms on a particular end, like the north, 2 classrooms, and then a flex computer lab would be the 3rd room. You know, a lot of, with some technology to do some Zoom classes, online education, virtual education, that type of thing. That physical education component, I believe, from our discussions in the past, has been able to house, you know, like PE for sure, you know what I'm saying? Some kind of multi-purpose flooring, and then archery. We need archery. We need something where they can do archery and cheer.
I was going to say, don't forget the cheer, a cheering area.
Yeah. So I mean, that flooring, you know, it's got to be some kind of multi-use. You know, I don't know the wood. I don't know what I'm saying, but
Are you gonna play any?
be elementary type.
So no competitive basketball stick up?
Just elementary, if it would be something, you know, like our 4th and 5th grade, something of that nature.
Would we want the goals we could raise?
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
You know,
I think you'd need that.
And
yes.
I'd say at least a width of a, you know, where you could put 2 courts on it.
Yeah,
Kind of like,
yeah.
you know, side-by-side courts.
Okay, so you're talking, you know, typically like in a high school gym, we'll run the main court and then we've got cross courts on that.
Well, this would
Are
just
you
be
talking about
cross
2
courts.
Cross
Yeah,
courts.
yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, if the goals aren't down, it's used for everything else.
Okay. How big do you want the courts?
Kind of about the size of like what we have already over there in that older gym.
They're probably like a 3/4.
Yeah.
Like a 50 by 74 used to be
Yes.
50 foot, right now 50 by 94 is what we're building. in the
3
new
foot
gym.
lines about this far from the out of bounds.
Yeah.
Do you want to have any seating capacity around the outside?
Some,
Features.
yeah.
Here is one thing that I would like to just think about as we're going through this process. I know we have the new gym that was built in '81, but maybe this facility, maybe where it could be added onto maybe at a later time and maybe have a new gym, then do that stuff over in the old gym. I mean, I don't know if that would be something that we could, maybe in the plans of this, make it where it could be something that we could add seating to, or, I mean, if we're gonna try to, you know what I mean? I know that it's a new gym, I know we've got it in really good shape, but in another, you know, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean,
I don't know that we can sell it.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we can allow, you don't necessarily have to put it on there, but we
Right.
can allow it to where, depending on which way we turn our columns and stuff, that, yeah, it could be added on this way or this way. If you decide to expand it, whether it be for that or classrooms or whatever.
Would we want to even talk to the city about encroaching to the street?
We have in the past, and they were agreeable at one time, but now that's been several years back. You talking about to the south there?
To the south towards the gym, yeah.
Yeah, and it may be, you know, because I think what they have discussed previously, Jim, is to, you know, encroach on that road, you know, that older gymnasium, which is just old and wore out, that what we call the fitness center, you know, and then the old shop behind it. That would give us plenty of space for that room, you know, for that building here.
So you're talking about tearing down
Mm-hmm.
the old stone gym and the shop and everything behind it.
Yes.
Would we leave the bus maintenance garage, or would it go too?
I think we had talked about getting rid of it too and moving it into.
That's what I thought, yeah, because it's all connected, you know,
Yeah.
to that building right behind
Would
it,
we
so-
at some point down the road want to put a bus maintenance over on the northeast corner? Where the old bus garage used to
Absolutely,
be?
yeah, that's probably where we would have to,
I mean, they're gonna have to have some place to work on those buses for
Right.
this and that, you know.
yeah.
So long pull through.
And, you know, Jim, they can look and see, you know, hey, you can build it
Yeah.
and leave that actual bus garage there, and for the time being, kind of like a phase 1, 2, 3 type thing, you
Yeah.
know, so.
Yeah, 'cause that'll need to be there until we can get some other place.
Prepared.
Because they actually need, I mean, that one, they can't even pull the big buses in now, can they? The activity buses won't even.
No, those 2 buses, they cannot.
So we need to really look at something, maybe in that line to get something bigger so they can get those, something that accommodate those buses too.
And we do have available space on, be north of the, northeast corner, just straight north from that bus garage. You can go over and look, you know what I'm saying, but that would be a different phase, you know what I'm saying, that we would need. But I think one of the things that they're gonna have to decide as a board pretty quick, is it gonna be a straight bond or is it gonna be a series bond? You know what I mean, to do
Right.
these different phases, so, you know.
Well, how much money can you get with a straight bond?
Oh,
2.4.
I'd have to go back and look, I don't know.
Is that construction money, you think?
I'd have to go back and look, Jim.
Yeah.
J.C. Leonard, I think's his name.
Right.
Is, actually, yeah, he can tell us more, but we're hoping to have him back down here this coming month of November.
Okay.
And that's why we were gonna do the special, to kind of get some numbers for him,
Right.
you know, and so.
But you can see what that is. To your advantage to stay with a single bond for financing costs, but it just depends on what you want to do.
Right.
Because 2.4 million is a lot of money, but targeting descriptions of all this is not going very far. Yeah. So your classrooms too, you're talking about two standard classrooms,
Yes, I think
nothing
that,
special in them, then one computer lab, and the computer lab's got 30 stations.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, that flex lab would need, minimum of 30, I would
Yeah.
think, you know what I'm saying? But we want them all wired to be, good technology, does that make sense?
Well, we can have the technology there and tying everything with intercoms and all that, but I'm just saying, if in the computer lab, we're gonna be lining the walls with we're gonna hardwire it, or try. We would recommend you hardwire it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's what we want, because we want that flex lab, we want that lab to be something that they're gonna utilize, for distance learning.
Well, that also may need to have floor raceways with outlets and jacks in the floors, if we're gonna actually have to use, I don't know that we have to use wired anything anymore.
You know, but they just say that the wired gets you a lot better.
Well, you can get, yeah, your connectivity will be more solid, you're sure, because you don't have any kind of interference. But,
A wireless is,
yeah, I'd put it around the walls, but I don't know that I would, incorporate raceways with a grid of outlet. Now, you may need some outlets,
right.
but I don't know that we'd need network wiring in the raceways.
Who's your instructor for this? Who would be your?
Well, we
instructor?
haven't really decided what we're looking at on this flex lab type thing, what it's for. You need instructional area representatives in there per se. You may need a mathematics teacher. You may need a English teacher, that can come in and out to assist. But the students will be basically on their own, doing online curriculum at school, if that makes any sense. I know it doesn't, but that's the thing. They can come to school, still be a part of the school, go to lunch, go to breakfast, go to ag, go to athletics. But they'll be literally on their own in there, but they do need content help occasionally.
Okay.
That's the one thing a student at home at a virtual school doesn't get. If we offer this, then we don't lose them to Epic. So
Absolutely.
Okay.
so we would probably need outlets that said, in some kind of a grid in there that we could put desks around
Yeah, that's all.
to be able to get the 30 computers in a room that's not all around the wall.
Okay.
We built a lab out there at the prison in '91 that has that kind of a raceway grid in it, and it has been wonderful. We've got so much flexibility with what we can do.
Yeah, that's what we need,
So,
is flexibility
yeah.
for it to grow,
Well, it wouldn't hurt to put that kind of stuff in then.
No, it really wasn't at all, not at all.
It's a lot easier now than
Yeah,
after it gets hard.
sure it is, for sure.
But we retained an old previous rock climbing wall, they call it, that we would like to mount in this new facility to get it back with our PE. We retained that whenever it was in the old gym, but it just wasn't enough room, so we did retain it from a previous purchase several years back on a grant. But anyway, we would like to get that back up, have a wall for that, and then just different areas for them to especially for our younger kids' PE, you know, so they'll have a dedicated space.
No weight room, no separate, you know, like the archery, you think it would be in a separate, could happen in a separate room where cheer might be all, maybe happen too?
Yes,
So I can cheer in there and I can do archery and.
yeah.
Right now, don't we do archery in the safe room? Or
At
have
times, yeah, yeah. I think they've actually had to move because there was 3 different organizations, 7th Hour in there.
Yeah.
And so,
See, we're really using a safe room as a multi-purpose fitness
Mhm.
facility right now, which is kind of, I mean, it's a good use of the room, but boy, if something weird happened, you know.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the idea way back when, there was an idea of having, where you come off the football field and get us some locker rooms or so on. Is that, are you wanting to try to do that?
Mhm. Yeah, well, it needs to have some kind of dressing, you know what I mean, some kind of
I
areas for
mean, not,
dressing.
you'd have PE dressing rooms,
Mm-hmm,
and then on the south side, we're talking about having locker rooms that would be for soccer, football.
yes, I think that's still
And
standard, yeah.
And if we are gonna encroach the road, would it, you know, we've always talked about doing a concession on that side of the, you know, visitor side of the football field. If we encroach the road and we get up there close enough and we could go all the way down there, we could do dressing room, you know, we could do some stuff along that south side dressing room, maybe a visitor's concession over there. Maybe even a visitor's gate from that side or something.
Public restroom entry
On that
there
side,
on that
yeah.
end,
Yeah.
on the very southeast end of it.
Yeah,
But believe it or not, Jim, from previous discussion, I think he's probably got that actual
yeah.
already, you know what I'm saying? Him and Tobin probably already have that still intact, I would think.
Well, we do, but it's
Yeah,
in that old building.
yeah, right. It was in,
Close,
exactly,
but
yeah,
not-
yeah, exactly, right, it was in the old
Yeah,
building.
because originally we had planned on
Refurbishing.
revamping that one and doing some
Right.
stuff
Yeah.
there.
You guys don't want to try to save it at all?
I just don't think it's
I don't think there's
worthy
anything worth it.
anymore, you know what I mean? It's just,
Unless we could
I
save
mean,
some of
you
the
know,
rock and relay on.
I started saying we might could reutilize some of the, exactly, some of the
Masonry
rock,
work
but,
or something.
you know, but doggone,
It's
I
not
mean,
invasive.
It would probably help us a little bit if we
yeah.
kind of pitched that we would be using some of the old stone, at least in the facade, you know, around the front, or in the veneer
Mhm.
around it, you know what I mean?
And that would look good.
If we could, you know, cause it still would retain some of the old building, we're gonna hack a few people off dropping that gym to the ground.
What, when you say it's not in very good shape, what, I'm just asking.
Oh, you're talking about the old ag building?
No, I'm talking about the old gym.
Roof structure, I mean, it's patched on all the time.
All the
It's just,
But are the walls sound, as far as you know?
They leak.
yeah, water
Yeah.
runs through them. I mean, it's, and the thing about it is probably, the reason it leaks is probably because, of course, over the period of 50 years, when the building was here above road grade, now road grade is above
That's right.
floor, so you know what I mean, it just, years and years of bringing material in and not, the building has to stay where it's at, so,
Right.
you know, and it's probably one of them deals, French drainage or something might help, but the only thing is, we got utilities that run all over the, you know what I mean, it's gonna be a logistical nightmare problem.
Okay. I'm just asking.
And also, I mean,
It's just.
I don't know with what we're wanting to try to do. Where the front of that building is now, and of course, we're planning on going east, I don't know that there's enough room there to actually keep the front of the new building where that one is gonna be anyway.
We it might be further west.
Yes.
Might be further in every direction, but, you know, we've got plenty of room south,
Yeah.
and a little bit of room east.
Yeah, when that one
I mean, we'll-
goes, when that
we'll-
one behind it.
We'll
goes.
cough up parking to go west,
Mhm.
and unless we have to, we really wouldn't want to.
We just wanna make sure we're gonna do everything right
Yes.
and get it right the first time.
And the thing about it, that building might be, instead of actually running the building, what I would call east to west, turn the building and run it north and south. You know, make it longer north and south if we're gonna be able to encroach that road. And that might even save us, we might even be able to add some parking maybe or something,
Now,
instead of
would we-
losing parking.
Would we go over utilities to get out into the road?
Coming south, you'll come over, I know, the water and sewer is not on the road right in there. It is actually over on the football side.
Okay.
You know
Well,
what I
then
mean?
we wouldn't
So
be
you gain a lot of room right there, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I can't speak to the gas lines or anything like that, but,
The storm drain,
Yeah, there's a storm drain there right on the corner.
yeah.
And then I know that all the sewer and everything that comes out of that old gym is kind of there on the southeast side. It kind of all runs around that corner
right
there.
up towards that old building.
Yeah,
That, I mean, the one
Yeah,
that's in the
towards that
corner.
manhole.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
but I don't know that we've ever actually pulled the tape on anything over there to actually see how much room we would have to work with. I don't know.
I've got a wheel.
I went get on Google Earth
There you go, yeah,
and close enough for this,
yeah.
and then get past your bond issue, get a survey.
We don't wanna save the old ag building, do we? I mean, do we really wanna put any money in that thing?
What's the one in the corner of the football
Yeah.
field? No.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it
that
needs to
one
be
would
done.
need,
Gotta
yeah.
go, but that's a whole different, yeah.
Oh, and that's
Well, if we're gonna get
something-
over in that and put the things we would put in that, in the south end of this building, then that can be gone.
Probably save money better than that.
Okay, I'm getting confused here. The ag building's across the street.
It's over in the corner of the
little
football
L-shaped
field.
building.
It's the
Yeah,
building
it's
we
a-
had looked at
Look
one
at
time,
renovating?
that renovated, yes. That
Yeah.
just
I
had,
didn't know that was that.
yeah, that was the original.
Well, when I was a
ag
kid, that was the ag
Ag
building.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
It'll
The
be.
one that was full of all the track stuff when we
Yeah.
looked at that.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it'll,
It won't
it's,
take much.
no, it'll be, yeah.
It'd take longer to get everything out of it than we can knock it
Yeah.
out.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm calling
Gonna
her
be
Jimmy.
storage in this.
He'll haul it off for you.
Not there, no, not in this building. It will be in that corner right there though, cause I think we could put just as, you know, depending on how far you come south, if you can't come, you know, very far south, you know what I'm saying, out there, then you're gonna have to come back and put a small metal building right there in that corner where the old ag building's at for visitor concession, visitor restroom,
Right.
and storage, you know what I'm saying? But that's just be a metal building. You seen how, you know, cost effective we've kinda gotten on that other one, you see what I'm saying? So you can incorporate that one pretty easy. But if you can bring this building all the way that far, then yeah, just do it.
We could-
You know, tie it in.
We
there.
could phase 3
Mhm,
that corner thing.
mhm, yeah. So,
So do we need to look at a series bond if we're gonna do this?
well, I think it's gonna depend on, Mr. Newcomb's numbers, and then we just tell JC what they are, and then he's gonna recommend, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
what, you know, is it straight bond? or
Well,
is it
do
gonna
we,
be a
if
series
you're gonna
bond?
do this in phases, do we wanna look at
If
a
you're gonna
new
do it phases.
bus garage now?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would think so. I think if you're gonna displace somebody, you're gonna need to get them someplace to go to. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that can just be a metal building as well, you know.
Yeah.
Jim can, you know, design you a metal building, for like a bus garage, can't you, Jim? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just,
Pull
you
through.
know, pull through, exactly, yeah.
Right.
You know, now that one may actually need to run north and south,
What about
you
putting
know, instead of east
a
and
pit in
west,
it so
you
they
know.
can do their own oil changes there?
I don't know, that's why the EPA, you know what I mean, trying to keep up with
Where'd that go?
disposable oil and stuff like that, I don't, and plus, you know, right now, with that company that does the leasing, they take care of all those
Oh,
oil
do they?
changes and stuff, yeah.
Do we have to take them up there to do that though?
Sometimes, a lot of times they bring a truck down
Okay.
and we'll do it. Now, the ones that we actually still own, we do, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, we do our own, but,
Yeah.
I don't know, as far as a pit, they might want that though, we can ask them, I mean, that might be a good idea.
I mean, Safety Clean will come around and take care of that for you if you need them to.
Mhm.
They do it at the prison every day, or not every day, but.
Right. Mhm.
What are you thinking though, but you were kinda on the saving any part of that old building, you were kinda,
Oh, we,
because I know you're in the deal right now where you're having to do that, right? On the project you're on the camera, are you having to?
no,
save some of
they
that?
told us to waste it, so we.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the school, they're tearing it down right now.
Oh, okay.
So, but you gotta make it meet the code, and that was a total
Mhm.
redone, so that's still going back and forth with the insurance company, but they're tearing down the part that we
Okay.
saved.
Had worked around real
Yeah.
kid
yeah,
gloves
you
to
know,
keep them tearing.
Crazy deal. Well, no, I was just, you know, and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna probably regret saying it. But there's the old stone building.
Yeah.
If you could keep, if this area from here to here is big enough with no columns, because I know it's got columns and bleachers and all that. I can come in and put a steel structure over the top, brace the walls back, take this roof off, now I've got a new roof system and I've saved all the stones. Don't know that it's possible. Don't have a problem looking at it if you guys would want to look at it. But it would depend on this being big enough this way. And it doesn't, you know, it might be a two-course, I don't know. Or even just taking part of it and doing that, if that would help pass your bond.
Well, as I said, if there's some way we could take some of the rock and just incorporate it into the veneer somehow.
There's not a problem, that rock.
Like around
Right.
a 4-foot wall around it or whatever, you know.
It,
But
Entryway or something.
the structure as it is, I'm gonna vote a big no on keeping, because to me, you walk in there and it looks like the 1930s.
Right.
Well,
So-
it is just so, it's sound structurally,
But it's just used
but it
up.
leaks,
I mean, yeah, it's
you know,
just-
cause I mean, that rock, that metal, trying to get around it, you know, we face that, we fight that, you know, and then, you know, and then down at the bottom, you know, something's, those, you know, occasionally it'll go back to leaking, you know what I mean, and then, so when you do catch it, then you're fighting that again, you know what I'm saying? And then you got water running, you know, down in there, and so, you know, we always have to constantly are refixing this, and it's just kind of a money, you know, it's a money
Yeah.
issue, you know, money issue. And, you know, and it may just be time, guys, it's, you know, it's 2019, you know, it's 2019, you know? It served its purpose, it's, you know, it's beautiful and that type of thing.
What's the date on the outside of the door out there say?
39.
39? So that's about when that was built.
Right.
So we're 80 years.
Yeah.
It's time for it to come down.
And,
And
You
I
say-
love this town. I've been here all my life. I've spent more time in that gym probably than anybody in this room because my dad was the principal and I hung out there. But it's time,
Right.
you know.
We can say what we are doing at Cameron is the old part that burned down, we saved a corner. And we're gonna brace it up. So as far as saving a piece of the facade or something like that and bracing it up,
Yeah.
we can do something to tie it in, so that's not a problem.
and I think it'd look good with some of that veneer
I do too.
around it, that would be sweet, you know, and then you're just bridging the old with the new, you know, so. But, you know, trying to get our kiddos something better is just, that's what this is all about, and so. And we need it. Our kiddos need it.
Oh, no
That
doubt.
cheer and that archery's been, you know, they're struggling for room. Yeah, I'm not doing all that. All right. What else?
A walking track or anything?
We didn't discuss that, Jimbo. No.
Okay, that's fine.
No. Would it
That's
be?
not a bad
would- I
idea,
started saying,
though.
would it be elevated?
Yeah, well, that's what I was asking. So,
Elevated?
yeah, if we came in and had a walking track up here around that you could walk around and you play whatever down there.
No, if you was, yeah, that would be a sweet thing for our physical ed kids, I'm telling you. Cause then they could get out on the track and inside if they needed to. You know what I'm saying? And then it wouldn't take away from down below either, so
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
Things going on there.
Mm-hmm. That would just add one more, you know.
We've had several PE classes
Yes.
stacked on top of each other.
Mm-hmm. That just adds one more dimension to it, to be honest with you.
Well, it could, and also archery tree stand.
Tree stand, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Makes a difference, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, angle. Yeah, uh-huh, yeah. Great thought. That's why we brought you on board, bud, right there, see there, yeah.
All
Absolutely.
right. So you're trying to, we need to come back, this is November, so December board meeting?
Yeah, I think we need some numbers, if we can, November the 14th. Yeah. Approximate numbers.
We gotta pass the resolution
Yeah.
at this next board meeting
You
to
want
make
me give it to you
it
today,
February.
or-
Sure.
By noon if you can.
Yeah. 11th, I'm sorry, not the 14th.
The board meeting's the 11th.
The 11th.
So you need a number by the 11th.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah. What's 3 days, huh? What's 3 days, bud? Yeah.
Monday will work fine.
Yeah.
This Monday.
Mhm.